Hey, I'm Eric, and I'm listening to 100 albums in 100 days. For all the details on what I'm doing and why, check out my video pinned in my profile. It's Live Aid week. Since Live Aid happened this week, back in 1985, all this week I'll be listening to albums from artists that actually performed at Live Aid. And first up, we have the 1978 album The Cars from who else? The Cars. I've heard all of the singles that the Cars have put out. And I had a friend, and when we were freshmen in high school, he was a huge fan of Heartbeat City. I don't think I've ever listened to a single Cars album straight through. So this is my first time. And I really like this album. It is so good. There's only two slow spots, two songs that are kind of slow or a little weird. That they were still good, but they weren't my favorite. But the rest of them are fantastic. I love their use of synthesizers and just their sound effects. It made them sound, since this is 1978, it made them sound 80s before the 80s. I just love the way they work their keyboards in. They're very prominent, very loud at times, but I love them. This album's a little overproduced at times, and it's a little uneven as well. But with that said, it doesn't matter. It's full of just great songs. The second half of this album really picks up steam, and really just is the best part of this album. There's like a 4-song set in there. Don't Just Stop, You're All I've Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, and then Moving in Stereo, which if you've seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, you'll not only know that song is in that movie, but you'll also know what scene that movie is, or that song is in as well. It's just a great album. There's not a bad song on here. There's a couple of songs like the song that probably ends the first side and the second side are a little weird. I think they overuse some of the sound effects that they use a little too much. Or those two songs are a little overproduced and they're a little weird. But the rest of them, oh my gosh, this is a great album. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's just a great set of songs. I love Ric Ocasek's voice. Elliot Easton, the guitar player, he's one of my favorite guitar players. As I've gotten older and listened to music, he's become one of my favorite guitar players. He doesn't have a whole lot of chops on this album, but you can hear him in there, and you can hear that he's part of the band. And I kind of want to listen to the next couple of albums just to see how he progresses up the chain with his playing. But I would highly recommend listening to this album. Also, one of the things about this album the reason I picked it was because I remember seeing this album cover. I think I've mentioned this in other videos when I was younger, like the Kiss album, and I think there was something else that I mentioned that I saw when I was a kid. Oh, the Quarterflash album. And I remember seeing this album cover when I was in the store with one of my parents and just wondering what that was. So it's a little bit of a nostalgia pick for me too, but yeah, I would highly recommend listening to this album straight through. You're not gonna regret it. If you're a Cars fan or you're a Ric Ocasek fan or whatever, and you like this album, or you have another album I should listen to on top of this, let me know. If you've never heard this album and you listen to it, give me your thoughts.